more clinical in that final third, being able to finish that. You're on a breakaway. You got to be able to put that in the back of the net, because there's not going to be that many chances when you are playing a better opponent.
And she sees the depth at the number 9 position. And obviously, she's had some injuries to contend with, but she hasn't scored since Halloween of 2023 on a rainy night in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Revere heads it into midfield, stolen by Wickenheiser and Quinn alike. Zadorsky, high floating ball to Manchester United's Jade Revere, excuse me, down the left touchline.
That was an example of what Stoney wanted to see happen in the last matchup, with that partnership between the left wide player and the fullback. We weren't seeing much of it between Alidou and Lawrence last matchup. The left side wasn't really working very much. The ball was very much on that right side. But I do think that this match, that will be huge, getting Grosso tucked into that channel and having Jade Revere get up, get forward. As a former striker, she was a very talented striker, so I think that she could do very well for Canada and create a lot in the attack for them.
It's a big year for her at United, a contract year. Take one look at the United webpage and you'll see some articles about the club reporters calling her one of the most important defenders on the team. You know, she wants to carry that momentum along. Sign on for even longer. United third in the Women's Super League at the moment. 6 points back of Chelsea, level with the Gunners as well. This is Selena Pereira. San Lorenzo, second match in a row that she's got the nod between the pipes.
Definitely been in this situation. It is not fun to be on the other end of that.
Well, 10 minutes through, scoring opportunities along very much with the Canadians. Ranked number 7 in the world, Argentina number 33, and the third-ranked nation in CONMEBOL. Carl just about able to locate Rose. Grosso forces a turnover. Massive humanity just on the inside step of the penalty area, and that is a rather overloaded Sofia Dominguez. Briggs just about rips it between her feet. On that same move, turning the fullbacks and inside center or outside center backs around. She's been lively. Gabrielle Carl trusts her speed, a few extra strides. Cross that's bounced back out. She was hoping to shield it and win a corner, but it didn't have the pace to get there. And I think she might be hard done by to come off her last. Referee has a different perspective. I actually side with the defender here, Milagros Martin, who saw a ricochet off the Washington Spirit defender. Let's take a look.
It's definitely the right call by the ref. That definitely deflected off of the Argentinian player. See if Canada can get on the board. It was the set piece that got them on the board last time.
How much pace to Grosso's last ball? It was easy for the center backs to claim. This one is much quicker. Quinn for Zadorsky. Briggs chases after it in the 6-yard box. Incredible nose for goal. She's up for it tonight.
This is a good ball in, well up by Quinn. And a good redirection towards goal. Good on Briggs to be able to stand there and cause some problems for the Argentinian keeper. Just unfortunate that it went wide.
You imagine these camps, you're trying to do everything to be a sponge and absorb, but you also want to make an impact. Here's Alidou off the contact. Alidou, it is a big tackle to clear it from the Portland Thorns forward. Just didn't like the angle she had with Briggs making the run against the defender. Canada picking up where they left off at BC Place. Here's Grosso just over the head of Briggs. Carl covers a whole lot of space in not a whole lot of time. She and Wickenheiser. Still Carl, nice turn. Abby Carl rounds the corner, picks her head up, looks for a teammate, finds Grosso, is loose for a moment. Pressure from Revere, but she goes through the back of Margarita Jimenez and brings out the whistle.
I really thought this would have been Briggs' potential first goal in her first cap. Good ball movement to be able to get it into Alidou. Good quick feet, just unfortunate. Could have played it a little quicker.
Casey Stoney must feel like the smartest person on the planet right now with how Kayla Briggs is starting this match. Such a tough balance, Jess, isn't it, for these younger players, because coaches want to see what you can do at the next level. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought them into the camp. But for Briggs here, like it's not a position where you have a lot of cover necessarily. You got to know those movements with the strikers right away. Where's Wickenheiser going to go? Where's Carl? It's not just picking up with your teammates. She's transferred schools to Michigan. She's going to have to do that with them. But it's a pretty tough spot to be on the wing and be an impactful winger.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think that what she's doing very well is she's focusing on what she can control, which is her effort, which is her fight. She's really putting her body on the line for all these tackles. And for the chances that she has gotten with the ball at her feet, she's done very well to help Canada create.
Briggs last year at Providence started in all 12 games that she played for the Friars, over 1,000 minutes. 3 goals and 2 assists on the campaign to receive a preseason All-Big East team honor. Finished All-Big East second team by season's end. That's considering the fact she missed 6 games to play for Canada at the U20 World Cup, where she scored twice and added an assist. There she is in front of Herman Portanova. Alidou collects and turns the pass to Quinn, though mishit. Alidou deep in midfield. Canada pulled out of position. Zadorsky, excuse me. Getting a little bit more calm back on the pitch as Rose was under pressure and ends up turning the ball over.
This is what we mentioned earlier, Adam. You need to be clean in these moments. The field is smaller. Argentina has a lot more time to be able to get on top of Canada. They need to be quick and they need to be playing clinical passes to each other, especially in their own half.
Stoney admitted to us that this is a team that enjoys a bigger pitch, enjoys the space for the movement off the ball, runs into space. You just have less of it here at Starlight Stadium in Langford. Briggs got by 1, couldn't drag it around Praininger. And trouble for Jade Revere as she had vacated her position. She was the last defender back, dropping to her knees in disbelief. Margarita Jimenez, who was not expecting to play at all today. Nunez injured, or Gomez, excuse me, injured, and Jimenez brought into the team late and thrusted right into the starting 11. Just for reference, we talk about just how much more narrow the dimensions are here. 100 meters by 66. Which is about 15 meters tighter than it could be based on the FIFA regulations. 66 is a fairly narrow width of the pitch as well. It's around 72 yards. For those joining us tonight south of the border. Carl somehow gets that pass off. Alidou has some work to do. Still Alidou. whirling dervish, thought she was fouled, was fouled. There was just no advantage for the referee to play.
This is one of the great things about Alidou. She is somebody that does not give up. She's going to keep going time and time again until you take her down like that.
So there are some fans in this portion of North America excited. Acquired on the 26th of March from Benfica after scoring 33 goals and adding 7 assists in 72 matches. Former Université de Québec à Montréal Citadin, and is now an NWSL player for the first time in her pro career. Alidou leaves it. Grosso. High ball. There's Zidorski, but it's right at the keeper. Briggs, who inadvertently shoulder checked Pereira, looking for something in the air. It's poor from the Argentine keeper, handing it right back to Zidorski and what was midfield. Every time 33 in red touches the ball, you can hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd roar.
I'm going to say my favorite word from the last broadcast. That was very cheeky of her.
There you go. That's your one and only for the match tonight.
Okay.
Here's Rose. Wickenheiser. Jade Rose. Quinn, Wickenheiser. Alidou as Canada methodically passed around the blue and white stripes of Albi Celeste. Quinn goes to ground. It's a nice tackle from Rose just to halt the South Americans in their tracks.
That was a good example of quick combination play that Argentina just won't be able to keep up with. If Canada keeps that up, especially in that final third, they're going to be all over them.
Long toss from in front of the Canadian bench. Rose. Nowhere to pass, takes an extra touch or two. Zidorski was trying to build from the back. Her service to Grosso doesn't reach its target. Wickenheiser helps clean it up. Wickenheiser again keeps moving forward. Rose now tries another run, but it's about a yard too far to her outside shoulder. Slick pitch in Langford as well. It feels as though it hasn't stopped raining since Sunday. That's Casey Stoney's only complaint right now from Victoria and its surrounding areas, that she didn't see much of the sun. So it reminds me of home a little bit, referencing rainy England. This time of year especially. Getting very important geographical information from match producer Oliver Platt. Basildon, where Casey Stoney's from, also a mountainous area, so it feels a little bit more like home than you might expect. Rodriguez, Wickenheiser with a stern swing and might have caught the studs of the number 9. She could see yellow for this. It's a heavy challenge. If she got the timing right, she might have got away with it, but referee doesn't hesitate to blow the whistle. One of the few ways Argentina could theoretically get to Canada, Jess. Set plays, especially position like this. We'll see if anyone wants to do their best Declan Rice today.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Argentina is not the one to pull a Declan Rice, but this is definitely a shot for them to be able to get on goal. I think this might be their best opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and say that this will be their best opportunity on Canada's goal, but I do think D'Angelo will be able to handle this.
A bit curious that D'Angelo only asked for 3 in the wall. It's Wickenheiser, Carl, and Alidou. Sophia Dominguez does test her and puts it off the crossbar. Rose has to clear. Right place, right time. That sounded like a cannon, and it's echoing off the mountains here in southern BC.
This was very well struck. That's exactly what you want in that position. She could have played this a few different ways. She could have chipped it in, or she could have went directly for goal. To be able to curve that in that top corner, Canada's very lucky that that hit the crossbar.
You rolled your eyes at me when I said Declan Rice.
I did.
And she took that personally, Miss Dominguez. Plays for Newell's Old Boys in Argentina. Great pass. Wickenheiser spotting Deanne Rose. Returned by Briggs. Rose touches around the center back. Is looking to find Alidou on the cutback. There's a lot of blue and white shirts in the way. Jesse Fleming on the bench to begin this match. The midfield, especially the central midfield, just looks different. Two very defensive-minded players occupying that position. Changes the dynamics slightly than it would if it was a Grosso or Fleming with a Regan or a Wujo, etc.
Yeah, I actually had the chance to ask Stoney about Grosso and her positioning, and we were seeing her in a wider role. I asked if this was potentially a new position we're seeing her in, or if this is just a personnel. Obviously there's a lot of forwards for Canada that are injured right now. She did say it's more of a personnel thing. Julia is one of the few people that is comfortable to step into that role right now. Obviously she's done quite well with it. But to your point, yes, the midfield right now is very defensive minded, but I do think that having Grosso in that wide position to be able to tuck in, have Revere go around, as well as have an Alidou drop in, almost having an extra 10. So I do think that although there is two very defensive-minded players in Wickenheiser and Quinn, there's also a lot of great attacking minds around them that will pick that up and drop into that pocket there.
That is Kata Rogerone, lone NCAA player in the Argentine 18. Plays for CSU Bakersfield. She made her debut against Brazil at the Gold Cup last year. Played 1,500 minutes with Bakersfields in her senior season. Tell you what, Sabrina D'Angelo looks a lot like the Bakersfield mascot with that mask on her face. Let's go Roadrunners.
Stop making mask jokes. It's not nice.
Carl has to slide over. Cross will come. Threatening ball. D'Angelo spills it, but is able to recover. Pops off the turf, and she makes the catch. For the cap number 20 today for her, the 14th start in her career. She now plies her trade, professionally with Aston Villa. D'Angelo away in time. Back at the head of Grosso. Deanne Rose, closest player in red to the football. Offside flag raised on Yamila Rodriguez. Canada stays in possession and will continue. Delia Polito, the early runner. Revere dribbles herself into trouble. The support comes from Grosso. That's exquisite on the ball. Oh, Julia Grosso. She had to be fouled to stop her. I think she's got a little extra pep in her step tonight after scoring at home.
I think I'd foul after being embarrassed.
Touche.
Like that too.
Touche.
Very
Like,
well done by Julia
That's
Grosso.
enough, Jimenez.
Just doing Julia Grosso things. Yeah.
She is cautioned as well, and understandably so. That's a big boot from Alidou. Won't quite reach. She'll get it on the second opportunity, though. Breezes by Rodriguez for Quinn in midfields. Quinn's pass is a good one. They find Grosso. Grosso just outside the penalty area. Switches to her right, wants it back on her left. Gets there with a spin. A fake, the cross. Sent back out of the box, but the pressure from Wickenheiser keeps Canada on the front foot. Briggs goes up in the air. Scampering is Zadorsky. They have hemmed Argentina in there, and Grosso a bit slow to her feet in the top right corner of your screen. Well, Casey Stoney, arms outstretched, asking the referee why there was no whistle. She has a shout for a penalty, and it's definitely studs raised and clumsy from Rodriguez. I think the Canadian gaffer might have a point. Carl and Alidou working well together. Briggs separates the midfielder from the ball, but isn't able to keep possession. Alidou was early on the tackle, and then she's fouled by Diana Falfan.
We're starting to see that physicality that we saw very much in the second half of the last matchup come out.
Good ball last time from Alidou. Trying to figure out where she wants to put it this time. It's a bit overhit this time, straight to Pereira, letting the Argentines off the hook. Wickenheiser and Briggs encouraged from the bench. Two single-digit capped Canadians. Hunted. Had Dominguez in their crosshairs. For 2/3 of the possession through half an hour. Only 3 shots attempted and only 1 on target from Canada. Quinn looks at the referee, frustrated. Didn't think there was a ton of contact in that. Rodriguez has a bit of a reputation for this. They'll have to remember that for later, that if there's contact at all, down she'll go.
Not sure if that was much contact.
An easy one for Quinn after this camp wraps up. I mean, before they would have been just going down to Seattle, but now they get to stay in the Pacific Northwest, getting ready for the first Vancouver Rise match. Nowhere nearly as precise as the first free kick. Swept away, back to the wing, and Argentina can't keep it in play. And if we see Casey Stoney continue with this youth movement, and if the gaffer wants to offer another first cap, we might see Quinn's teammate with the Rise, Holly Ward, in the game sometime in the second half. We'll just have to wait and see. Wickenheiser trying to keep her check out wide. Carl does the same. Comes a bit of a game of twister in front of the touchline, and Wickenheiser raises a forearm and brings down the speedy winger. It's right hand on red, Jess, in case you missed it.
I will say, I don't think there are times to foul and there are times not to. This is not the worst position to foul in, but I do think that Canada needs to be a little more careful in and around their box. At a 0-0 game, Argentina's obviously proven they can strike a ball. So I will say that I do think they have to just be a little more mindful of where they're fouling.
It's Rodriguez and Martin. Alidou and Carl in the wall. Rodriguez, the number 9, to the near post, and it slips underneath Sabrina D'Angelo. I'm going to assume that was meant to be a cross in a threatening area, and it still somehow confounds the keeper. Pretty incredible delivery from the wing, and D'Angelo cannot believe it's Canada who conceded the first goal of the match. The set piece stings the Canadians. We thought it might be from 20. It turns out it's from about 35.
This is a well-struck ball. I do think that she attempted to do that. She went for that front post. She had a curve in that. That's not an easy ball to hit. So I do think, again, to my point, Canada needs to be careful in and around the box. You should not be giving up fouls there, because that's what happens, and set pieces have the ability to make or break your game.
Well, if you are Casey Stoney and you're looking for different challenges and different game simulations, it's the first time they've had to come from behind against Argentina. Mila Rodriguez, who is nearing her half-century. Trying to build off of what had been a disappointing World Cup for Argentina. Canada understands that sentiment. Signed with Grêmio in Brazil to start this 2025 season. Seen a few different Alidou outswingers. We'll see if Grosso offers up a bit of a different look with an in. It is Grosso. Jade Rose underneath it, but she was pushed as she made contact. Swarming Canada. Quinn. They get a header and a pass, both keeping Canada forward. It's a bit unfortunate for Briggs.
I actually would have loved to see Alidou take that, to be able to drop it right in between the 6 and the penalty spot for Canada to crash it. It would have been it would have been an in-swinger. It would have been a lot easier for Canada to get on the end of that and potentially finish.
We are back in BC tomorrow night right here on One Soccer as the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinals continue. From 5 p.m. Pacific time, we will have Inter Miami and LAFC. Messi's boys coming off a draw with TFC and are trailing in the tie. The Californians looking to advance to the next round. They would take on the winner of Pumas and the Caps. It's 1-1 heading south to Mexico City. We will have a full Matchday Live pre, post, and halftime show for you right here on One Soccer. It all gets underway 7 p.m. local.
I think right now Canada really just needs to focus on what it is they're great at, and that's settling the ball and playing their game. They can't get into the franticness of Argentina and the way they're playing and just being very physical and fouling. That's not going to work out in Canada's favor.
Briggs, Wickenheiser, and Carl, each of the three were second to the ball. I'm not going to suggest for a moment that Argentina has Canada on the ropes, but it's certainly at least on the back foot right now. 19 for Ippolito. Rose just escorts her away from the ball in time. Dalia Ippolito, the only European-based player outside of the captain Aldana Cometti in the team. Wickenheiser, who applies her trade at Hackett in Sweden, which means inevitably she will go to Portugal next before landing in either the NWSL or NSL. Based on the track record of Canadians of the past, they've had a few come through. Laracy rings a bell there as well. It's where you have to really do your best, Jess, I presume, to keep your emotions in check as the match gets more frustrating.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to continue to get frustrating. You know, Deanne Rose is a strong player. You know that Argentina is the type of team to go down at the faintest of touch. So, yeah, you definitely have to keep your emotions in check. It's going to get frustrating when they start to dive, when they start to throw tantrums. So hopefully Canada can keep it together.
It was something that the staff alluded to as well, that wouldn't be a surprise at all. And they want to see different types of opponents, different styles, whether it's an underranked team, someone who'd be considered an underdog in an Olympics or a World Cup that would sit in a block or try to be ultra compact in the middle and force Canada to break them down. So they had the opportunity at the wide pitch at BC Place. They will certainly have the time to do it in these final 10 minutes and the second half at Starlight. One touch too many with Rose open in front of her. Revere, who has become a half centurion for Canada with her start today at left back.
There's another example of trying to keep your cool.
Almost bit her tongue in half. She tried so hard to.
Very unnecessary.
Jade's not afraid of a little bit of grit sandpaper to a match. Unfortunate one for Deanne Rose. It will be an Argentine throw into the 41st minute of the match. Yamila Rodriguez in possession now, the goal scorer. Referee didn't want to indulge her with a flat there, and then she comes in with her studs up high on Quinn. It's a ridiculous tackle to make in a friendly. If there was VAR, I think they would make sure that that's not a sending off. That's a terrible tackle. Quinn took all the studs to the top of their leg. Let's take a replay. That's a straight red for me.
She didn't even attempt to go for the ball.
And it's not the first time we've seen this from this nation against this country. There was a sending off 2 friendlies ago. Rodriguez, you're right, just nowhere near the ball, just tries to put all of her body weight on the Canadian midfielder's foot.
Thankfully, Quinn didn't walk out of that with a more serious injury. That could have been bad.
You'll take that on the top of your foot instead of the ankle. It's a scary one.
They're definitely going to have a nice imprint of studs left behind.
Be able to count every single one of them when they take their boot off after the match. See Julia Grosso trying to preach for calm as the frustrations and tensions mount. Rose bosses the right back away and wins the throw for Canada.
This is going to be a part of Argentina's game plan. They have to throw Canada off mentally for them to beat them. So I think that, you know, they're very aware that Canada is dominating overall. The only way to really throw them off their game is to be able to get in their head.
Nice step from Quinn. Grosso on the block. Alidou trying to muscle her way into the box. Quinn from Grosso. Tough one as they make a move to the left and try to pass in one fluid motion. Rose slightly under hits, but it's misjudged. Jade Revere looking for Carl running in. takes it on the volley. Is it deflected? She's not arguing much. Great chance for the Spirit defender.
This is good recognition by Jade to be able to find Gabby running in and crashing the box. One thing to note, Canada has a lot of numbers in the box, which they've been doing really well the last few matches. I think they continue to do this, and they will eventually find one in the back of the net.
2.5 minutes before first half stoppage time. Jade Rose to Deanne Rose. Carl Fouls. By Sofia Dominguez. Quinn deputizing as a center back, allowing the fullbacks to join in on the attack. A late push from Casey Stoney's side. Into the box, but has the ball lifted away by the captain, Cometi. Corner kick one. Well, they're making noise in the West End as Canada attacks the goal in front of them, looking to level the match. Wickenheiser, Briggs, Deanne Rose, all in the box. Jade Rose couldn't leap. She was canceled up by Cometi, the captain. Able to complete the cross. Briggs takes it down. Briggs! Oh, she'll win another corner for Canada. And there goes Julia Grosso. Grosso into the 6. Lifted, headed, not cleared. Takes 3 attempts from the Argentines to get it out of their box. Deanne Rose had leapt for the first header. Solana Pereira is down seeking some attention from the bench.
This was a great ball in by Grosso. This is exactly why you need to have some pace in behind your delivery. It's very difficult to clear. A lot of franticness in there, but good on Canada to be able to put their body out there. Unfortunately, it didn't, get in the back of the net, but I do think that they need to continue to get those numbers in there.
Briggs again looking for that first goal on her first cap.
I feel it coming.
Only thing that could take her out of it is if she's subbed at half. I will say as well that that's a bit of a moment gone missed by the assistant referee on the corner. It was Dominguez who was much closer than the 10. She needed to be away from the corner, getting her boot by her ear, trying to block it from Grosso. Assistant referee could have put their flag up and let Canada do it again. This is what I mean, Jess. You see the slash, the hash mark, and that's not particularly close.
No, that definitely could have been called by the assistant referee.
Tell you what, supporters are delighted that the rains held off for a little bit. West Coast always turns out for this program. Heck, East Coast as well. I mentioned that game.
To see it.
At home on the road, I should say. Not just at BMO Field, get the rest of the country a chance to see them play.
Let's go, ladies!
Wickenheiser. There are 2 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. We've used probably 2 minutes for that Pereira injury. Rose, a bit unfortunate. She couldn't lift it over the head of the goal scorer. Now Ippolito. It's a poor pass. Well recovered by Jade Revere. But the pressure's coming from Argentina, giving Canada a bit of a taste of their own medicine with the counter press. Another foul from Albi Celeste. It's Cometi. And that's, remember when Rose took a number, Jess? She just used that number right there. What are you doing, says Katja Koroleva. Like a disapproving parent, she's seen enough and heard enough from the Argentines.
We've spoken so much about the importance of set pieces. Another thing to point out is throw-ins are an example of a set piece, and I think just there when we saw Canada get caught in the counter. That came off of a poor throw-in. Canada needs to be able to possess those throw-ins, not be dispossessed and caught in the counter.
Well, Canada is out-crossing Argentina 15-2. They're 7th from a stopped ball. It's a long way from goal, though Carly Wickenheiser was willing to try it. It's the final play of the half, and Canada will head to the changing rooms. A bit of a surprise as they trail Argentina by a goal to nil. It was Yamila Rodriguez from a free kick of Argentina's own. In the 34th minute of the half, she snuck it under Sabrina D'Angelo's glove before making a tackle that probably should have seen her sent off from the game. We'll see what changes Casey Stoney makes coming into the second half. But before we get there, Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, and Amy Walsh to break down that first. Offside flag raised against the Argentines. It's the goal scorer and player on a yellow card, Yamila Rodriguez, who had drifted in behind Shalina Zadorsky. Well, Jess, we heard Amy, Jordan, and Andy talk about it at halftime, but Canada's big chance in the game, Deanne Rose all alone with the keeper. They started with their hair on fire for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then the match at least calmed down a little bit. With Rose and Alidou up there, what sort of things do they need to do differently in the second half to create some more opportunities?
Yeah, I think, you know, when you have two players up top, they obviously are going to have to play off of each other. I actually think Alidou has moved out to the left side now. Briggs might be up top, if I'm not mistaken. But I do think that regardless, whoever's up there, you need to be able to play off of each other's strengths. One of them has to be able to drop in and get the ball. The other one breaking the line, finding playing in between those lines. I do think a lot of times right now with Canada, although the partnership is new and we're not sure who will be playing up there together, there's a lot more individual effort. We saw some good moments between Nichelle Prince and Leon, but I do think overall the front two need to have a better understanding of their runs off of the ball. There's quite a few opportunities in the past games where Nichelle Prince stands out to me. Instead of pulling out wide and being able to get in behind to create space for the player dribbling at her for that to free up space for the other forward, she really is just staying stuck in the middle and really clogging the space. So I would really like to see the movement up top become a lot better.
Julia Grosso at the corner flag. In swinger, top of the six, over the head of Rose. Aldana Cometti didn't even leap forward. It's not cleared by Argentina. A little bit chaotic in the 18-yard box. Finally, some width found. Deanne Rose hustles over. It's last off of the Argentines, and the throw is taken quickly. Quinn, they'll be disappointed, with an unfortunate pass back attempted to Deanne Rose to let the South Americans off the hook, but Janine Sonis, with this energy off the bench, steals possession back for Canada. Jade Revere burning down the left wing. It's a tackle to her Achilles.
I love the little innocent look. I didn't do it.
My favorite is always, it was my first one. Well, it doesn't matter if it's bad enough. It will get you booked, and it does get Preininger in the referee's wallet.
That was all foot.
Revere walks it off, a sore one, no doubt. Interesting grouping, a different look for Canada. Instead of flat across the top of the 18-yard box, everyone's huddled and will break on contact.
Would really like to see this floated in right into that sweet spot, right between the 6 and the penalty spot, just a bit further back into that back post area for Canada to crash.
Here we go then. Sonis runs short. Grosso puts it in that space. Briggs unable to get there on the first try. On the second, she leaps. Jade Rose collects the loose ball. Sonis after it as well. Carl is going to get a mulligan. Carl's ball. Praninger is hip checked by Deanne Rose. It's fed back towards Briggs. Praninger does have a shout. If that would have been in the back of Argentina's goal, would have been a controversial one as Deanne Rose, while inadvertently, absolutely takes out the defender.
It was good on Gabby Carl to be able to get that ball back in and for Aladu to redirect it, but yeah, definitely needs to be a bit of a safer choice by Deanne Rose.
Aladu, another one where the defender is 5 yards from the corner. The referee's telling her to back up the second time. I know it's a shorter pitch, but the hash mark is very hard to miss. It's literally right beside her. You just simply cannot do that. Aladu's able to get it off this time. Zadorsky was in the goal area, and Canada will have a third consecutive corner. Taken quickly. Racing Louisville's Janine Sonis. Grosso's after it. Argentina clear. It's a better start, reminiscent of how Canada began the match. A 23-match run of not losing in 90 minutes is at jeopardy, or is in jeopardy if they can't find one, but they have lots of time to do so. Kayla Briggs continues to impress. Not a perfect performance, but a fantastic debut. Quinn intercepts their header to Briggs. Rose tried to sweep it by, but couldn't elude the skipper. Briggs to Quinn. Quinn stays in the fight. Maybe two. Pirouette from Briggs. Grosso now. Drives the middle. Excellent looking ball that will reach Revere. Sliding center back sends it wide. That's great vision from Miss Grosso as we see Adriana Leon getting some tactical instructions.
That's what you love to see from Grosso. That's what she does so well, being able to find those pockets and play her teammates into those spaces to be able to create great attacking opportunities. I'd love to see the argument there.
You would have tried to make it, to be fair, if that was you. You might have won it, too.
I don't know, 2 hands in the back of the neck? It's questionable. But Jordan Wilson, he would have made that argument.
And he certainly would have lost it. Especially if Yusri Rudolph was the referee. Not far back enough, Canada moves the ball away from the spot of the foul. We'll try again. So Casey Stoney will pull the trigger on the substitution before the free kick. Deanne Rose is out. Adriana Leon is in. Casey Stoney admitted to us that Adriana was a little bit disappointed that she didn't score in the match when she created so much. It was her one-player highlight reel that set up Michelle Prince's goal in the first half.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see her come alive again. We saw a very confident Adriana Leon. We haven't seen her in a while, so it was fun to watch.
Golden Boot winner of the 2024 Gold Cup. Part of her 10 in 2024, a yearly best over her time with the Canadian women's national team. Grosso. Just past Carl, not cleared. Leon drives it into the pile. Quinn runs on, second effort. Tries to play across to the back post, and Janine Sonis, but it's slightly overhead.
Canada does well to attempt to create something out of nothing. Obviously, that was poorly hit by Grosso, but it's not always going to work out every set piece. It's about how you bounce back. So I think that Canada did a really good job at being able to even attempt to take a shot on goal from that.
Still no movement from Herman Portanova on the Argentinian side of things. Very young group. It's a nation in transition, with some of the veterans having decided they would not represent Argentina in international football, with some concerns over the federation. The most capped player being Cometti, and she's only won 90 of them. They don't have a single centurion in the history of the program. There's Revere making herself a nuisance. That's very well defended. She wins the throw for Canada.
That's a bit of an example of what I was speaking about in regards to the partnership up top. You have Adriana Leon dropping in. Sonis should be getting a little higher. There's no reason that they should be flat in that midfield.
Zadorsky through the legs of Quinn. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it's the first time for Shelina Zadorsky in what is now 108 caps that she's worn the captain's armband. Alidou with her back to goal was flat-footed. Sonis hunts after the loose ball. Alidou. Still Marie-Yasmin Alidou. Tagged by Ippolito. Frustration continues to mount for the Argentines. Jimenez, Rodriguez, Dominguez, and Preininger all booked for the Albiceleste.
I would like to see Canada put one of these away. They need to be a bit more clinical. They've had a lot of opportunities off set pieces this matchup.
Katja Koroleva, a veteran of 2 World Cups. She had the whistle for the quarterfinal between England and Colombia. Pereira satisfied with the construction of her wall. Just the one player in it. And it's Rodriguez, who scored from a distance not too far away from this one. Alidou doesn't quite reach. Shelina Zadorsky, Canada getting reorganized. Carl's cross. It's a decent one. It just about completely mystified Pereira. Revere a little late that time. Argentina gets the foul that they've sought. Coach Stoney admitting to us yesterday that she might have retired, and she did say her playing days are a long way behind her, but she is an animated character on the touchline. See the intensity of the former captain of the English national team. Any ideas, Jess? They're trying to disguise this from 40 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen this far out. Curious to see how it plays out.
I think so are they. Redirection, and Dominguez swipes at it. Well, whatever they were looking for, it wasn't that.
That's usually done a lot closer to the goal.
Correct.
In my experience.
And mean, I guess you want to practice the movements, but interesting one. Ippolito chases after Carl. It's a heavy touch, and Praninger just about stole and completed the pass, excuse me, to Ippolito.
Canada's getting caught at times thinking they have a lot more time on the ball than they do. Argentina's doing a very good job at high pressing as well as swarming, which is one of the most frustrating things to try to build out against. So I do think Canada needs to be mindful of the amount of touches they're taking.
Yasmin Ali too in the 62nd minute. Leaves it on a tee for Revere. Grosso dribbles through 3 blue and white striped shirts. Zadorski has her pass attempt blocked, wins the throw. Argentina will make a substitution before that throw can be taken. The Dalia Ippolito leaving the match for Kisi Nunez. 18-year-old teenager playing for Florencia Quiñones, Boca Juniors. They're a young player, just cap number 5 for her. Debuted for the Argentines May 31st last year against Costa Rica. Also participated in that aforementioned U20 World Cup in 2024. Scored 3 goals in 4 matches in that tournament held in Colombia. That is Briggs over the midway line, bit too far in front of Leon. The throw for Canada excuse me, a triple substitution for Casey Stoney. So it'll be subs 3 through 5. And we will in fact see that debut as well for Holly Ward. A great first cap for Kayla Briggs. Miss Ward will be hoping to have a similar impact on the game. Ashley Lawrence also checking in. Briggs with a big hug from Coach Stoney on the way out. Gabrielle Carl, who we were told having her minutes monitored a little bit. You can see the cast on her wrist. She's not 100%, nor is Quinn, who's recovering from injury. But fear not, Vancouver Rise supporters. You have one midfielder off, but you have the young Holly Ward in instead. 21 years old from North Van. A little bit of a homecoming for her here.
Super exciting to see new faces on the pitch as well as such young faces. These are the opportunities, these are the games where they're going to grow their confidence and be able to make an impact in those games that maybe have a bit more meaning behind them. Roar from the supporters as Jessie Fleming is announced. It is her 143rd cap. And it is just the 21st time she's ever been used as a substitute. That is a crazy good stat. It will likely be her free kick restart as well. It is right-footed, low into Leon. Clever little play as Leon runs on that diagonal. Doesn't take a defender with her. Twenty minutes have come and gone in the second half. Canada still trails Argentina, courtesy of a Mila Rodriguez goal from the first half. Closer and closer we get to the waning stages, the more belief Argentina will have that they're in for something historic for their program.
Quédate, miren.
Doesn't look like any attempt at deception here. Dominguez. The forehead of Jade Rose leaping in the air. Ollie Ward. Ollie Ward trained with Janine Sonus's Racing Louisville in the 2025 NWSL preseason. She is an export of the Whitecaps Girls Elite Academy. Represented Canada at the U20 World Cup in 2022. Also spent 2024 with Burnaby in League One British Columbia.
We are seeing Stoney shift with wanting a more offensive, maybe more offensive players on the pitch. In the first half, we spoke about having Wickenheiser and Quinn in that midfield, and now we're seeing two of the most offensive-minded midfielders, and they're together between Grosso and Fleming.
There goes Janine Sonus. The ball is slightly overhit for her. Composure from the captain, Comenti. Argentina turn it over, and it's heads up in the stands. Praninger was taking no prisoners. Ward. Sandwich between two defenders. Fleming can't poke it free. Alidou towards the corner flag. Couple of step overs for the Portland Thorns forward. Grosso explosive back into space. For Alidou, completes the pass, but turns over possession and concedes a foul. Canada still favoring this left side of the attack. 47% of their time in the Argentine half has come down this side.
I do think Canada needs to continue to utilize the flanks. They need to overload Argentina's back line. That is where they're finding the most success right now in creating final attacking opportunities. It is a little bit too congested in the middle of the pitch right now. Obviously, again, the dimensions play a part, but Argentina's doing a very good job at swarming. It's very difficult to really take many touches in there. So I do think they need to continue to go out to the flanks and potentially get a cross in to create a goal.
Milagros Martin out at left back, replaced by Eliana Stabile. Another Boca Juniors left back on the pitch. Jesse Fleming getting this started. Ashley Lawrence over the line. Fleming from Sonus. Ollie Ward tackled, got up, and in the process of trying to regain possession, foul was the captain. Clemente, a poor restart. It bounces off Ward and she'll get a do-over. Unable to connect with Rodriguez, who offers a thumbs up for the suggestion.
Thank you.
20 minutes to go. Canada's 23-game unbeaten streak and 7-game unbeaten streak over Argentina, both at risk if they can't break the clean sheets. Grosso, another good idea for Alidou, and Grosso gets back in, and his first to the loose ball. Bounces off of Falfan, Alidou. Contact in the back of the feet, the step from Zadorsky. Kind of make a short field even shorter with all this pressure. Another pause for a substitution as we look to the fourth officials table. Jade Revere will be replaced by Bianca St. George in the 72nd minute.
I think this is a good opportunity for St. George to get in, to get some minutes. I think one of the things that she does best is being able to get up and down that flank and get the ball in the box. She is also a very offensive-minded player. She actually played, fun fact, she actually played as a forward when she was younger, so you definitely see those forward qualities in her. I would really like to see her get involved in the attack and potentially get some balls in the box.
She does have a goal with her new club, the Utah Royals, scoring against Bay FC in the season opener. This is Fleming. Sonis tries to hook. Bounces out to Fleming once more. Janine Sonis creating separation. Sonis will shoot and doesn't miss the front of the net by much. Good individual effort from a Canadian veteran.
This is a good attempt, good fight by Sonis to be able to keep it and to look up and realize, why not? I might as well try it. I'm not far out. You know she can hit it from that distance. Just unfortunate it didn't go her way.
12th attempted shot in the match. Canada have only put 2 on target. As we see the forthcoming substitution. Nikosia of Pachuca and Liga MX. Replacing Yamila Rodriguez, the goal scorer. Shooting accuracy numbers not to Canadian supporters or coaches' likings. Neither is there passing accuracy in the opponent's half and final third, 60% and 56% respectively. Look at the upcoming Canadian Premier League schedule for match week number 2. The top left corner of your screen. And of course a week tomorrow, the inaugural match of the Northern Super League. Nice fight from Holly Ward. She finds Janine Sonis. Assistant referee thought that Sonis was caught late. The referee decides not to overrule her and awards the foul. It is the 16th foul conceded by the Argentines in the match. St. George bounces off the pressure from Jimenez.
One thing about St. George is she is not going to back down from some shoulder-to-shoulder contact.
Argentina's turn to try to keep their heads. The foul totals are racking up and becoming all the more one-sided as they scratch and claw to try to find a result here.
Something happen here.
Fleming will hope to do just that. It's a deep ball towards Lawrence. They'll trade one set play for another off to the corner flag. Just about always want Vanessa Gilles on the pitch if you're a Canadian supporter, but certainly in these moments her presence is missed. Why are you pushing her? The referee asks the goalkeeper right beside the goal line. Leon is saying, I'm entitled to be here just as much as you are. Katja Korleva finds the humor in it. Grosso tries to drop it at the near post. That's where it goes, but it's an easy catch for Pereira. And she'll slow things down and no rush to resume. Fortunate touch for St. George, turning it over in a dangerous spot. Kreininger. There's an off of Dominguez. Here's Alidou. Low cage, Janine Sonis. Flag will stay down. Sonis with the keeper scampering out. Keeper comes out and plays it outside the box. Canada will have another free kick moment. Janine saying, I want more than just a foul. I want her gone. And she is. Solana Pereira shown a straight red. Marching orders have been issued, denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity for handling the ball outside the box with Sonis barreling down.
You gotta love the passion for arguing when you're wrong.
At this point, she's trying to take some of the clock with her. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, that's absolutely the right call by the ref.
2 or 3 yards clear of the box. And now Pereira's not just arguing, but she's buying time for Herman Portanova to get his backup keeper ready to come into the match. Well, you see number 12, the left side of your screen in the background, getting ready. Renata Masciarelli, a Mexican-born goalkeeper, 28 years of age. Her uncle Roberto Anibal Masciarelli played for Atlas, Puebla, Leones Negros, and Toluca. So Nina Nicosia, who just came into the match as a substitute, will be the unfortunate sacrifice. I guess unfortunate from a Mexican POV. Well, now the entirety of the Canadian roster are coming over to the touchline. Pereira still hasn't left the field of play. Casey Stoney has the tactics poured out. Don't blame the Canadian coach. The Argentine keeper doesn't want to leave the field of play, and a player is faking an injury to buy some time. Why not make the most of it?
Just to touch on everything that led up to that commotion, you know, I think that Alidou had great recognition to be able to play that ball through, and I think that Canada needs to continue to recognize those moments, especially now being a man up.
Well, Nicosia had about 37 seconds on the pitch. She is pulled right back off, and Masciarelli is in. Her club career debut with Club America back in 2019. She plays for Juarez now. Canada would love to put her immediately under pressure. Emila Rodriguez put Argentina ahead on a free kick. Can Canada do the same? This is Jessie Fleming, goes right at the keeper, trying to test her when she's cold, but doesn't move her left or right. It ends up being an easy stop.
I do think overall the delivery on the free kicks today could be a lot better. Usually Canada really capitalizes and finds the back of the net on these. It's definitely not their day for them.
Well, neither of our national teams at the moment, quite frankly, are necessarily instilling fear in their opponents when it comes to set pieces.
Margarita, no vaya. Margarita abierta. No le hable más, técnico.
St. George on the steal, Fleming tripped up. Albi Celeste should be expecting to do a whole lot of defending. Certainly more so now that they're down a player for the final 9 minutes and change.
You heard Stoney saying full speed. This is exactly what you want at this point in the match, especially being a man up in these last few minutes. You need to be moving the ball around. You need to be going at full pace, giving all the energy. It's very hard when you're a man down to be able to defend, especially if you're high pressing.
Well, it's quite the night for Selena Pereira, who is watching the rest of this match on One Soccer, like all of you at home from the changing room. But earlier in the game, she came up big to deny Caleb Briggs from about 4 yards out, denying quite the story. A goal on the debut for Caleb Briggs. It is today's All-State save of the match, helping keep the Canadians off the board. Overhits with Sonis the intended target. She has to run it in. It was a very one-sided affair in Canada's last game at Starlight Stadium when they defeated the Matildas by 5 goals to 0. They're trying not to be held off the board. Ward's cross into the 18, headed out and cleared, but no further than Shalina Zadorsky. A bit stagnant from the Canadians right now. Players on the ball, especially from the back line, need someone to make that run. Sonis in the pocket. Hands it off to Fleming. Holly Ward will shoot, deflects a couple of times. Leon sprints to the near post, but Masciarelli falls on top of the ball.
This is good recognition by Sonis to play into Fleming. Good attempt by Ward. I do think these are the moments that Canada needs to be very clinical in that final third.
The 5-0 was the last meeting for Canada, or the last match for Canada at Starlight Stadium, but their first was a 2-2 draw with Nigeria. It took a Shalina Zadorsky header in the 88th minute of the match, set up by Janine Sonis, to get a result from the game in front of 5,434 on a Monday night at Starlight. It's a Tuesday this time round, and they have 6 minutes and what should be 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time to replicate that outcome. Bianca St. George, is that another handball? It is, in fact. Should be a yellow card, too, for Catalina Rogerone, sticking her hand out. Also a substitution. It's all going down late in this one at Starlight. Margarita Jimenez. She'll be replaced by Maria Francisca Altelt in this 85th minute.
Another thing to note, to pay attention to, I do think that Canada can potentially catch Argentina on the switch. You are seeing them obviously a man down. When they do shift and they're defending, they are overshifted. They can find, there was Holly Ward was open a couple times where they could be able to switch that and find them on the counter.
Need a good ball here from Janine Sonis. Sonis, top of the 6, redirected by Fleming. and you could hear the woodwork and the twang it made as Fleming tried to level the match.
This is a good ball in by Sonis. Those are hard to stop. So good on Fleming to be able to redirect that towards goal. Nice little spin, not hit too hard, but just the right pace.
Might have even been Leon with the last touch after it goes up the shin guards of Fleming. Now that substitution can be made. They wanted to keep Jimenez out for one last defensive action. Zadorsky backpedaling, can't get there. Kishi Nunez, closest player to it. Some poor passing though from Canada.
Good hustle by Janine to be able to get back.
Alidou trampled, and another caution. That's number 6, I believe, in terms of cards that have been handed out tonight. See how many bodies Casey Stoney wants Canada to commit forward. Short to Jade Rose. Ward on the wing. Fleming also makes a run into that space. Cometti trying to hold off 2 Canadians. Ward can't quite get there. Lawrence on the block though. Ashley Lawrence for Sonis. Lawrence. Fleming out wide. Lawrence with all kinds of space. Grosso will hit it. Nobody else in red seemingly wanted to. It's a Canadian side that's lacking some imagination at the moment as they face these final few minutes in Langford.
Would have loved to see Ashley Lawrence check her shoulder there, recognize that she had a bit of time. She could have potentially turned or at least provided Grosso with a better pass.
St. George at her step does not lead to a completed pass. And when the supporters are starting to get tired of the Argentine act, another foul. 22-11, the totals. Rose from the right back to St. George. Adriana Leon has to go through the legs, but the wickets were slammed shut. And Zadorsky has to cycle it back to Sabrina D'Angelo. Canada has not been held off the score sheet for 5 matches. Since a friendly in Spain against Iceland. They were also blanked by Germany in the Olympic quarterfinal before falling in penalties. Another substitution here. Well, Kayla Briggs, it was the best story leading into the match, winning her first cap for the Canadian women's national team, and she came out with her hair on fire, created a lot of good sequences for the Canadians, a tireless runner, and left it all out on the line. She'll take home today's Gatorade performance of the match. Jessica Lisi, your thoughts on the debutante?
Yeah, I thought it was well-deserved. She came out, she didn't look out of place. One thing about her that you knew you were going to get from the first moment she stepped in was 100% effort, and I thought that she showed a lot of quality throughout the match. Again, didn't look out of place. Congrats to her on a very good first cap.
Hear, hear. St. George over the head. All the way down to Mimi Alidou. Stays in the fight, spins free. Leon goes after the ball, with advantage being played. Adriana Leon, the cutback. Sonis finds it. Janine Sonis. Ashley Lawrence denied. Blocked by the center back. huge moment in the first of 6 minutes of second half stoppage time. Canada looking for an equalizer.
There's so much good that led up to that. I was really hoping that would hit the back of the net.
Ward slaloms around. A sliding and desperate defender gets underneath it and sends it out for a corner.
This is great combination play by Aladou and Leon. Leon's recognition to cut this back and find Sonis. And Sonis realizing she didn't quite have the angles to find Ashley Lawrence standing there at the penalty spot.
Canada's 11th corner. Rose is pushed away. Swatted like a fly, otherwise she was in for a free header. Lawrence, well-weighted ball to Mimi Aladou. The supporters at Starlight ready to erupt. Who wants to be the hero? It's not cleared. Rose shields. Fleming. Sonis. Keeps it on the ground. Adriana Leon. Her cross straight to Masciarelli. Rose goes tumbling into the net as Canada throw everything at the South Americans, but cannot find a way through. You can hear the supporters at Starlight counting the new IFAB rule. If the referee decides the keeper has taken too long, after 8 seconds, the referee can award a corner kick. See if Masciarelli tries to use the clock more to her advantage. $18 open play crosses now for the Canadians, 140 passes in the final third. They just need one to lead to a goal. Fleming heads it down, lofts it up, but it's overhit if St. George was the target. Sidorsky fouls as she played the ball, and or at least she thought she was. Aladou. Preininger and Argentina send it away. Halfway through stoppage time. Their 56th entry into the final third. The header straight to the keeper. Rose is still playing as a 9 as Canada searches for this one goal. The one goal they so desperately crave.
It's a good ball in by Zadorsky to be able to recognize that there is an opportunity there.
Canadians will never forget the 6-second count from the Olympics, will they? Sidorsky, it's a bit sloppy. Nunez, blocked shot, St. George helps. It's Argentina in control with 2 minutes to go. The last thing Canadians want to see, Grosso fouls. Gotta go. The referee doesn't see Nunez clearly getting away with something on Sidorsky. And she was finally able to play. She didn't miss Leon by much. 90 seconds to go. Bianca St. George. Cross that floats and goes to the top netting. Not where she wanted to put it, but just about threatens the keeper nevertheless. You know, about 30 more seconds will come off, which means Canada probably has 1 or 2 phases at most.
These are the moments where they have to be purposeful in their decisions. They have to know, they have to make the right decisions. They have to play everything with purpose.
Well, just like the VW moment of the match, you speak of moments, Jessica Lisi, right now in line to be the match-winning goal, presented by Volkswagen. Yamila Rodriguez 1, Canada 0.
As a Canadian fan, you hate to see it, but that was a very good finish.
You as a striker, tip your cap on that one. An Argentine throw. Albi Celeste coaches, they're all counting for time. They're all standing at the touchline. This would be a huge result for them, and they can just about taste it. Well, the confusion is the referee blows the whistle trying to tell Argentina to hurry it along. Argentina will act as though that was the full-time whistle, which it obviously wasn't. 2 footballs on the pitch now. This is classic underdog debauchery from the side, just trying to do whatever it takes to get to the finish line. Leon clatters into the substitute. Holly Ward chases after it. Can't find Fleming. Goes back trying to hunt and recover. But Canada runs out of time and are stunned at home. Falling to Argentina. It's their biggest win, Argentina, in a couple of seasons. They circle the top 10 FIFA nation. They get a goal from Yamila Rodriguez and hang on. One that Sabrina D'Angelo would want back, but just when it came down to it, the offense just was not good enough for Casey Stoney's team.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for them. It wasn't for a lack of effort. There was a lot of opportunities, but at the end of the day, you do have to be clinical with all those chances that they were having, because those are the ones that are going to come back and bite you. A team just needs one opportunity to change the whole game.
October the 28th of 2023 in Montreal, the last time the Canadian women's national team lost in 90 minutes. The streak ends at 23 matches. For my partner Jess Lacey, Michael Avril en français, I've been Adam Jenkins. Back to the studio for Andy, Jordan, and Amy to tie a bow on this friendly.